Hello everyone and welcome back again. So today we'll continue with the fifth step of concrete process casting, which is compaction of the concrete. So after we went through the steps, we have batching, mixing, then transport or handling the concrete, placing the concrete. Then the fifth step or stage is concrete compaction. So what is compaction and what is the purpose of the compaction? Concrete should be compacted immediately after placing to expel air trapped inside. So compacting is we are trying to allow the concrete to go through the spaces, fill all the spaces and remove the bubbles from inside the concrete and to avoid the existence of the voids in the concrete, and the concrete will be more dense. The more dense and the less porous concrete is the high quality of the concrete and the high performance of the concrete and the high properties of the concrete. So this actually, the compaction process is very much important for the quality of the concrete and for the strength of the concrete. We need to reduce the permeability and ensure bonding between the reinforcing bars and the concrete. So the more dense, the more compacted, the more bond, the stronger bond, the better bonding between the concrete and the steel bars. So compaction of concrete is a very important in developing the quality of the concrete, like strength and the durability of the concrete by making the concrete more dense, as we said, and free from voids. Compaction actually, the more dense concrete is the high quality for durability and also for the strength. Why? Because the purpose actually, one of the purpose of the concrete that it has good resistance to the water to go inside the concrete and to avoid the water to reach to the steel bars. Because when the water can go through the concrete, penetrate and reach to the steel bars, and when steel bars get in touch with water, then the corrosion will start and will start. This is the beginning of the concrete failure and the concrete collapse. So, how to make the concrete or how to improve the quality of the concrete in order to be able to avoid the penetration of the water, the concrete must be more dense, less void, less porous concrete. And how to make the concrete less porous, minimize the voids of the concrete, is by the proper compaction process. So compaction of concrete is very much important, very much step in the concrete. So in case of a big work, compaction of concrete is done with a vibrator. If we are using a high quantity, the volume is high, then it's better to use a vibrator tools for vibration and for the compaction of the concrete. Care should be taken not to make excessive use of vibrator, otherwise the concrete become non-homogeneous. So we know that the concrete is a mixture of cement, water, aggregate, and the distribution of all, there is a good distribution for all the concrete materials, for all the body. We call it good uniform, good distribution, non-homogeneous or homogeneous mixtures. But if we are using the vibration tools, over vibration, then we start to have like segregation, separation between the concrete particles or the concrete materials. So we need to also need to consider that we avoid over vibration in the concrete. The use of vibrator is the best and the most efficient way of compacting concrete. It gives very dense concrete, the compaction and this. So here is the purpose of the fifth compaction. The fifth step of concrete process is the compaction. What is the purpose of the compaction? The purpose of the compaction is to allow the concrete to go through and fill all the spaces and also to remove all the bubbles, the voids, reduce the porosity of the concrete, reduce the voids, and also to make the concrete more dense, which will very much affect the quality of the concrete and it will affect the strength of the concrete, the durability of the concrete, and the more dense is the more resistant to the water to go inside and reach to the steel. bars. So we'll go, this is the compaction process of the concrete.